So when I first started to have my therapy and counseling and stuff, my my brain was very much like in like I was very much concentrating on my thoughts. So, and I can't remember the exact phrase that my counselor used, but she basically said it's because you're becoming more self-aware. Let's just use that word, right? And when you become more self-aware, it's almost like a, well, for me, it almost felt like the flip of a coin. Like one day I was completely unaware of how I thought. The next day I was so aware of how I thought. Was there a moment in your life where you remember that happening to you?
I think, do you know what? Similar. So I've had two therapists in my life. The first one, God bless her, she was lovely, but it wasn't hard hitting enough. We didn't go deep enough with what I needed. The second one, amazing. Called me out on all my bullshit, made me question absolutely everything. The work with Paul, looking into the world of personal development before I invested into Paul, that sort of stuff. It's most people are running on autopilot. We're not aware of our thoughts. We're aware of our emotions, but we don't necessarily know how to fix it or change the thoughts that are leading us to those destructive habits, bad environments, and therefore the negative emotions that come with it. When you start being aware of how your thought process drives your decisions, which leads to the quality of life and the environment you're currently facing, of course it's mind blowing because everyone thinks they've got their shit together until you really take stock and look at the areas where you're unhappy. It doesn't mean just because you're unhappy, it doesn't mean you haven't got your shit together. It doesn't mean when you get your shit together, you're automatically going to be happy. It's constant challenge, constant growth, constant process. But when you take stock of what am I actually thinking here? What do I think when this happens? What does that lead me to do? What state am I in when I wake up? What state am I going to go to bed? How do I handle this situation when this conversation comes up? Till you actually ask yourself and look, you're completely unaware. You're running on autopilot. And a lot of your decisions are also made by or influenced by other people.
Mm.
The people who are in that vicinity at the moment with you, or what you've heard online, videos, in person, how you were brought up. All these things influence your decision making process, which essentially is just what your thoughts are, right? Your thoughts lead to decisions, whether that's conscious or subconscious. So when you finally take a look, which I implore everyone to do, and that's from asking yourself questions, seeking out a mentor, seeking counseling, getting some sort of journaling, or just listening to these type of podcasts and things like that, and asking yourself those type of questions, but actually taking the time to think about it, not just listen and go, how do I think? How do I then? No. It's my favorite quote of all time. I swear I've said this on this particular podcast multiple times with you. My old gym manager taught me this, and it was from his old karate school. And I believe it might be in the book, the Hagakure. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that, which I probably am. Hagakure, I don't know. Hagakure, who knows? Something to do with samurais. I read it for like 20 years, but this quote always stuck with me as well. Introspection begets wisdom. So if you want to know what to do, you've got to look inside yourself. And you can only look inside yourself through true introspection. That means sitting, writing, asking, thinking, and trying to get some external feedback as well.